The world sees me as a great escape artist. Who knows? One day they might say I'm as great as Houdini, or maybe even better. I have performed a series of deadly and death-defying stunts, and came out quite unscathed. Some say it is magic that I perform. Others say there's no such thing as magic, and I'm simply an illusionist. Smoke and mirrors, they say. I do find it funny, though. How do smoke and mirrors explain me being stuffed in a box and stabbed through 50 times with steel swords, like a pincushion, only to have me appear on the other side of the stage without a single scratch on my person? How was it possible for me to be locked in an iron cage with over 10 different locks and dropped into the ocean, then materializing among the audience without even a drop of water on my body? Or being put in a magic box and sawed into pieces and still appearing alive and well, and most importantly, whole after the show? It wasn't an illusion. People only term such things they cannot explain as magic or fake. Do you believe it was magic? Are you another one of those doubters? Would you like me to explain how I do it? Sorry, but a magician never reveals his secrets. Lucky for you, I'm neither a magician nor an illusionist. I am a scientist, and all scientists want to share their work with the world. The only reason I appear unscathed at the end of each performance is simply that I didn't. I don't escape each show intact. In fact, I actually die in each performance. I am a scientist and inventor, and I created a teleportation device. It works, but there is a problem with it. Instead of transporting the subject to a new location, it creates a copy and sends it to its desired location. I needed funds to complete my invention, so, with my device, I joined a traveling carnival as an escape artist. In each stunt, I die, but a copy of me is created, along with all my memories and traits, a complete, identical copy of me, and sent to a new location, making it look like I escaped death. It is a really good plan, and I'm actually making a ton of money. In a few more shows, I will have made enough to finish my research and perfect my device. But now a second problem has presented itself. There's only so much I can get rid of, and I am starting to run out of hiding places to stash all of my original bodies. Nancy had just gotten home from work when she checked her mailbox and noticed it was full. Most were just bills, coupons, and spam newsletters. She lost interest midway and threw the bundle on the kitchen table, sending envelopes everywhere. One particular envelope caught her attention. The size and shape were not like the others, and it had no return address on it. Her curiosity had gotten the better of her, and she used a kitchen knife to open the strange envelope and spill out the contents. It contained only a single piece of oxblood red paper. She turned the paper over, scrutinized each side, looking for a message or writing of any kind. But the paper was blank. She thought it was a prank and was not at all amused. She huffed as she tossed a piece of paper onto the counter and left the kitchen. The paper landed on the counter and began to fold itself into a 6-inch tall origami demon. It laughed a tiny mischievous laugh and ran after Nancy. It caught up to her and sank its paper fangs into her ankle. It felt like a paper cut and she cried out. She kicked it away, causing it to jump off before cackling impishly and ran away. It was then that Nancy realized what this letter was all about. It was a prank, a revenge prank, of course. But she couldn't understand why anyone would want revenge against someone like her. She thought herself to be better than the average person, and so was incapable of offending others. Sure, she did make mistakes and piss people off from time to time, but they were only minor issues. Such as the time when she called the police on her neighbor when their baby shower music had been too loud. Or when she sprayed her prize hibiscus with chemicals because the neighbor's dog liked playing in them. The chemicals she used had killed the dog, but that wasn't her fault. It was her yard and her flowers, so she could do whatever she wanted. She searched the house for the little demon when she heard a crash coming from the living room. She ran into the room to see it had knocked over a priceless antique vase. It laughed as it ran back into the kitchen. She followed it and saw it throwing food items from the pantry. It was making such a big mess on the floor. So, Nancy snuck up behind it and caught it by the horns, and quickly tore it into pieces before it could bite her again. Satisfied, she swept up the pieces and threw them into the trash. That night, as she slept, she heard a familiar, tiny, mischievous laughter. Her eyes flew open to see that the torn pieces of paper had folded themselves into a dozen tiny paper demons. They were standing on her bed, holding a kitchen knife into their little paper hands, as if it were a medieval battering ram. Before she could react, they stabbed the knife into her throat. And so we've come to the end of our session. I would like to take a moment here to thank all you listeners who have joined us in this session. I would also like to go ahead and invite everyone attending to go ahead and check the link found in the description below. It is the source of this particular story and the original creator, so do give them a special thanks and do let them know who it was that sent you their way. Your support means a lot, and I cannot stress this enough, so please consider liking, commenting, and even subscribing to the channel. Then lastly, for those who are willing, consider having a look at our Patreon page and keep up to date with our latest narrations and some other opportunities. This was Dr. Torment bidding you adieu, and remember, don't fall asleep ever.